Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday. It is another edition of Little Bite Ideas. And I am so excited today. We're celebrating, as you know, all throughout November, Inspirational Role Model Month. And I've had some role models in my life. And I am so delighted to welcome one of the role models that probably didn't recognize how much she impacted our lives. We have in our studio, I am so happy to welcome the indomitable Heather Doram, who is the designer of our national dress. She was my art teacher in school, just someone who I've always admired. And it is such a delight to welcome her to the Little Bite Ideas stage. Heather, how are you?
Reed, such a pleasure to be on. You make me already teary-eyed saying
Oh,
that I
Heather,
was
I'm
such a
telling
role
you.
model to so many.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Let me apologize in advance for our CEO, Samuel Fields Consulting, CEO Megan Samuel Fields. She is running late. Of course, we switched our time from, we used to be on Friday mornings at 10:30. And then
Oh,
the people said to us, that just doesn't work for us it's in the middle of our day. So we switched to this brand new format last week, and we'll see how it
okay.
goes. We'll see how it goes. So Megan will
Okay,
be
that's
joining
great.
us later. You know, she wears many
Oh,
hats. And so I know she wants to be here. She's been texting me. She's on her way. She will
yeah.
be joining us momentarily. So, Heather, last week we had our mom on. We started off with our mom,
Yes, she told me.
and
Wow, that was so
it was so
awesome.
amazing. It was so amazing. And then when we were brainstorming about some of the role models, because we want to vary it, this is a show where we like
Yeah,
conversations. We want to hear ideas. We want to meet different people. We want it to be different. So I don't
yeah.
know how your name came up, but immediately we both said yes. So we are so delighted. So Heather,
Um,
introduce yourself for, I don't know, unless you're living under a rock, or you just migrated to Antigua, you must have heard the name Heather Durham. And even if
oh,
you have migrated to Antigua from somewhere else, I would imagine you have Googled Antigua, and I'm sure Heather Durham comes up because she's just
yeah,
iconic like that. So Heather,
yeah.
tell us a bit about who you are. I will share
Mhm.
the impact you had on me,
Okay.
generation, but tell us who you are in a nutshell, and uh,
Okay,
your
so
journey.
Heather is a country girl at heart. I
Country.
was born and raised up on, if many people go back in our history, we were, sugar was the main industry
That's
in
right.
Antigua and Barbuda at that time. And my dad used to work for the sugar industry. So we lived on various estates across the island. So I'm a country girl at heart until I got to the Antigua Girls High School, which was in St. John's. So,
Oh, I am so
um,
didn't know that.
you didn't? Oh,
I did
yes. I
not
was actually
know.
born in an estate house because in those days, we were so far removed from the nearest medical
Yeah. Oh, wow.
facility. The
Mm.
nurses used to come out and deliver the baby. So I was delivered. I'm sure you know there's an estate called Willis Freeman's where they have the Rasta. It's like a Rasta commune just east of
Newark.
Liberta. I
Okay,
was
I know
born
where
in
it
a
is.
house right
Yeah.
there. Yes, Ras
Okay.
Freeman. That's what they call it.
Yes. I
Ras
know
Freeman.
country. I never. I left my parents moved from the country when we were very young. But I tell people all the time, I know country. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people start talking
So
about country, I know country.
so basically, I consider myself to be a very strong black woman. I had to become that way. I'm a visual artist. I'm a actress. I have starred in movies, plays on the stage. I've been on television series. I was on the talk show and had my own radio show on Jump FM.
Oh wow.
I also, um, I'm an educator. I think my two loves and my passions are art and education. And I consider myself a feminist as well.
Fantastic. Heather, every time we've been talking before the show, I did my research. I forgot about the acting part.
Ah,
Oh my goodness. When you said it, I said, that's right. Tell us some of the work you've
okay.
done.
So let's see how this started. I you remember the first film produced by Hammer, The Sweetest Mango.
Yes, yes.
So I was approached to play a little mini role in that, a supporting role. I was the mom of the lead actress who was Jamila Curran. So I
Mm-hmm.
was the mom, and just a small role in that. And then lo and behold, sometime after that, I was approached by Hammer. How would I like to play the lead role in a movie? And
Oh,
I said,
wow.
listen, there was no hesitancy. I
Of
said, just
course.
as I told you before, this is a new project,
Yes.
something exciting, and I jumped on board. Knew nothing about acting. So I played the lead role in No Seed, and I
Oh,
think I liked the character that I was going to be playing as well because it was a female prime minister of a fictitious Caribbean country. And I loved that role. It was exciting. I just saw how a movie was really produced behind the scenes. It was pretty exciting. I would say that
wow.
was like one of the things that I remember most. I remember about my life. And then after that, I was approached by a writer from England to do some stage plays with her. Now that was another kettle of fish altogether because
Oh, my
with a
goodness.
movie, yeah, with a movie you can do something over and over again until you get it
Right.
right. But you're on the stage and my audience was like 4 feet away from me. So I'm looking in their faces and you can't make a mistake. I did make mistakes, but the audience didn't know. It's how you handle it and you just move right
Yes.
along. So I acted on the stage and then the women of Antigua asked me, Zara Ariel actually wrote a piece for the Women of Antigua production and she said, the only person who she thought would give it justice was me. So I performed that piece. But before that, I was involved in doing the vagina monologues as well.
That's right. I
So,
remember that.
yes. And then after that, I was approached by the head of ABS television to be one of the panel on a television program called Keeping It Real. Keeping It
I
Real. So there were
remember
four
that.
women.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yes, and I like that as well. Okay, here's another exciting project. And then after that, my son-in-law has a radio station, Jump 100.1 FM. And
Mm-hmm.
one day I just got up and said, I think I want to do a radio show because I think there are a lot of subjects that people are just not touching on. We're
I
so caught
agree.
up with the politics and so on.
Yeah.
There are lots of things that people don't know, people don't understand. So I used to have like somebody would come on and talk about investment, how to invest in money, about saving. I would talk about health, anything, all the topics I was discussing. That kind of came to a halt because of COVID,
Right.
because and then the curfew was in place and the time the show came on. So those were things that I did for acting. That's my acting career, actually.
This is so
And
exciting.
then, no, it wasn't finished. And after that, I'm sure you heard about Soothe, this neo jazz event.
Yes, of course. You said
Yes.
you were a jazz.
So
You
I was
probably
asked
was like,
to,
oh
to
wow.
do some of the pieces at Soothe as well. So, yes.
So when you say act to do some just the spoken word, or did you actually
Yes, yeah, like the performance. It was more like more of a whole performance because I would have my props and my. So it was
Mhm.
something slightly different than just like a spoken word piece. And
Right.
that added a little spice to the whole event. So all of those things I just
Fantastic.
thoroughly enjoyed. I just threw myself into them,
Uh-huh.
um, and I enjoyed every minute of it because the read going back, I must tell you that going back into my younger years, I was shy.
I was gonna say, don't tell me you were shy.
Yes, I was extremely shy. I think it had something to do with the way we were socialized and raised up and being isolated on these sugar estates by ourselves, having to amuse ourselves.
Hmm.
And I also was just fearful of stepping out, fearful of finding my voice. And it came to a point in my life where I realized that those things were hindering me from moving on and
Hmm.
upwards and whatever. So I kind of psyched myself out and said, fear is never again going to prevent me from doing or letting an opportunity pass me by again. So
Fantastic.
anything
But
you
let me
see
ask
comes
you
my
this.
way.
Let me ask you
Yeah.
this because it's on my mind before I forget. And I think Megan has joined us, so we'll bring her in momentarily. who were your role models growing up? I heard you having all this fear and growing up, kind of not
Uh,
socialized in a village setting or a town setting. Um, who were some of the role models that you looked to when you were growing up, aside from your
I,
parents, of course?
well, that's what I was just going to get back to. When I saw that, I had a look at the questions. Every time I think about the words, something about the words role models to me, the meaning of it, I don't know, it has lost its significance.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't really think of anybody who I sort of wish I was or wanted to be like that person or
There's no
whatever.
Heather Doram. There was no Heather Doram when you were growing
There
up.
was nobody there that
Yeah, that did what this artsy, the cultural. They probably had a few people who maybe had
no.
some cultural pursuits, but the kind of role that you had
Yeah, I
emerged.
didn't see, I didn't have that kind of experience. So you
Mhm.
said outside of my parents, because I
Yeah.
was going to go back to my parents being the role models because of what, they instilled in me and the principles
Mhm.
and all those sorts of things. But
Right.
I had to me personally, I'm not being, you know,
But I can see what you're
egotistical
saying.
or anything. I'm not being egotistical or anything
No,
like
I
that.
can
But
see what you're saying. But who was there was no Heather Doram before Heather Doram. Who
yeah,
else
so
did you
I think I forged a path. I forged
You
a path for
absolutely
myself.
did. You absolutely did. Because I mean, prior to you, um, who was out there that had this kind of multifaceted career,
Yeah.
artsy, finding your voice, making a name for yourself, and then of course the national dress, the fashion
Yes.
side of you. We're gonna leave
Yeah.
that for a little later because that's a whole
Okay.
show by itself. But let's get Megan in here. Megan, how are
Okay.
you in?
I am in. I was listening and I'm so excited.
I was
I'm
telling I was
I'm
telling
in. Oh my
Heather
gosh.
a few of our
Hi,
old
Megan.
How
friends.
are you?
I am great, just great. And
You're
you?
looking great. You're
Oh,
looking
Yeah,
good.
thank
I'm
she
you.
looks
good. I'm
fabulous. She
good.
looks fabulous. I was telling Heather that I said, "Do I call you Miss Durham or Heather?" You know. Um,
Heather,
but
please.
I was telling her that quite a few of our schoolmates came onto our page.
Yes, and they were just speaking so
Everybody was like, "Oh
glowingly.
yeah," everybody's like, "That was my favorite teacher," and I was
Favorite
telling her,
teacher.
Ah,
Oh yeah, by
we were
far, by
talking.
far.
Yeah, we were
I want
talking
to say
backstage.
special hello to all my former students who have joined us.
Oh,
I loved you all. I approached my
oh,
teaching career with love and
You
passion
did.
for what
yes.
I
You did.
did.
You did.
And
Now
I
tell me.
hope it, rubbed off on my former
Oh,
students.
you
It
did. You
has,
did. It
because
has.
some people came out of the woodwork, people I hadn't heard from in a while, and they
Renee
were speaking about
Goldston,
you.
Erlene
Yeah,
Harris.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
ready, we're
Emily
ready.
Simon. Yeah.
Yes, I saw her the other day. I saw Emily.
Yes, yes.
Yep. So, Megan, tell us a bit about Heather and I were powwowing before we came on the show. And I was explaining to her that the reason I think she had such an impact, one of the reasons I should say, I said, Heather, how old were you when you started teaching? And she was
I
trying
so
to,
wanted to know. I
yeah,
so
she said
wanted to know.
17, 18-ish, right? Because I knew she was young,
Oh,
right? And I
okay.
said to her, I think what it was, she just burst on the scene and
She
she
was
changed, she
different.
broke the mold of what a teacher
Absolutely.
looked like, acted like, kind of represented. So she had youth on
Oh,
her
yeah.
side and she wore it well because she was the epitome of fashion, class. I mean, she was
Every
literally she,
day. Every
every
day.
day,
The
all day.
heels,
So tell us, oh my
the
goodness.
oh my
So
gosh.
tell us about your memories of Heather Durham
Okay.
at AGHS.
So in listening to Heather when she mentioned she was shy and all of that, I think I was a bit like that. So I'm looking back and I think when you started high school, teaching at high school, I think we probably were in the preps. I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
Mhm.
yeah.
And so here I was seeing, and all the other teachers were older, matronly
Traditional.
looking,
Yeah,
right?
traditional.
And then this lady bursts on the scene with, I mean, and she had a way. I used to watch you, Heather, because you
Oh
used
my.
to walk
And had a
very
handsome husband to
gracefully
boot. Yes, and had a
too.
handsome husband to boot. So it was all it was a whole package. It was a whole package because you're telling us, you're
Oh,
married.
yes,
So it's not like
absolutely.
it's
Right.
not like you are sending us a message of a single woman. You
Yes.
are
You
sending. I
you were
mean,
the whole
totally
package.
seriously, you were sending the whole
I
total packages.
admire. I'm saying admired, but I still admire you. But
Hmm.
during those days, as a little girl, not yet a teenager,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, watching you, the way you dressed every time. There was no time
Yes,
anything was out of place
I'm
every
telling
time.
you.
And even when you came to the classroom, you were able to control the class.
Everybody loved her.
Everybody loved you. You're the best. You're the best.
You know what? You know what I remember, and I still feel angry about this. I was not artsy, so I would not have done well in a class drawing. I would have been. That would not have been me. I love art. I can appreciate it. I'm creative in other ways, but the drawing. But
Yeah, me
what
too.
infuriated me with our educational system, when you got to either third or fourth form, and you had to pick.
Make
Choose.
choices.
Didn't like it.
Yes.
You know what they paired art with? You remember Megan?
Was it
Something like
science?
chemistry or something like
Art
that.
and
Biology.
physics. Art and
Art and
physics.
Yes.
physics. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
That was it.
yeah,
That
And
was
I'm
it.
yeah.
like, wait, and from our house, my
You
father,
have no choice. You
we
have
had
no
no
choice.
choice.
You have a
Yeah.
science father.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
Yeah,
it.
but then, in spite of it all, I worked. I worked with everybody that I was given. I worked.
Oh,
I don't
you
think
you
when
worked
I
with
started
me.
the CXC program, I don't think that any of the students that I had ever failed the exam, because I told
oh,
them once you're willing to work and put in the work and hand in assignments on time and things like that, you could make it. The other thing I have to say about teaching, just like how I had to overcome my fear, I also worked on myself and how I was going to approach teaching, because I knew something was wrong. Because if we had like staff meetings and I would hear other teachers talking about this child, like, Megan, she's so horrible, she's so this. I put in, and I'm like, so how come I don't have those problems with Megan?
Mm,
mm-hmm.
And
mm-hmm.
it's a conscious effort I made. I thought about it and I said, a lot of these little girls are hurting. They're coming from homes where they're not shown any love, any, compassion. And so I came back to the school year 1 year and I said, I am going to change my approach completely. No matter how they came in, like rude and disgruntled and whatever, I just work with them. And I kept on telling people, you have to approach children from a position of love.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Once
Mm-hmm.
they know that you care for them, you care for them achieving things, and everything just opened up for me where teaching was concerned. So I would
Wow.
say the latter maybe 10 years of my teaching life were the best I ever spent.
Oh,
Because
Very
it's like I
fantastic.
nice.
found the formula for how to get to the girls, especially those who they didn't want to do physics, they didn't want to do art, but they were sent to me anyway, and I worked with them. And I also worked with, there were lots of students who wanted to do physics, whatever their career path was. So that left them now with not having an opportunity to do art, but they wanted to do both.
That's how I felt.
So I opened myself up to them coming in the last 10 years of my teaching career. I had no break time and no
Oh,
lunch time,
wow.
because I would
Oh,
tell those students to come to me in those periods, and they would run to me after school before I got to my husband's car. They would run to me to get the assignment and whatever. And I worked with all those students. And I enjoy the last years of teaching at high school. Really
that's
enjoyed it.
nice.
That
That
is
is nice.
fantastic. But that's only a very small piece of who Heather Durham is.
Absolutely.
I mean, for us,
Absolutely.
we are passionate about it because that's where we met you, and that's how we always remember you.
Yeah.
But we want
Yeah.
to cover as much as possible the full breadth of Heather Durham. So I want to talk about the fashion. I want to talk about. I mean, when I tell people that I know the person who created Antigua's national dress, she was my teacher. I sound like a big shot. Like, whoa, that's huge. That's huge. That's like not a celebrity. So
Yeah.
I think that what year was that? Because that was I think I was in college maybe. I don't remember.
92? I think it
Okay,
was
so I was
92.
Somewhere there. It was in
yes.
the
Yeah.
So
90s.
I
Yeah.
remember hearing about it and thinking, oh my God, that's so great. But tell us, how did that
Yeah.
all come about?
Um, so you remember where the old library was?
On High
Down
Street?
near to the post office?
Yes,
Yes.
High
So
Street.
after the 74 earthquake, that was seriously compromised.
I
And
remember.
Yes.
it's funny because we used to make costumes in there. The building
Oh
was like,
I remember. I remember. I do
yeah.
remember that.
And
Yes.
so a committee was formed because they wanted the library to be rebuilt. I think maybe rebuilt in a similar kind of style and stuff. But the government was hell bent on just breaking it down and doing something else. So there was a fundraising committee formed to build back the library. And that fundraising committee had approached Millreef, and Millreef said, if you can match how much we're going to give, then we will give you the rest of the money. So this person came up with this brilliant idea. I can't remember all the members of the committee right now, but I do remember Kevin Magasin, who has since passed, and I do remember Ermina Ashoba. I think she was on the committee as well.
Yep, I know
And
too.
so one of the ideas, they said, listen, Antigua doesn't have a national dress. Why don't we have a competition and it's a fundraiser as well?
That's
Because people
brilliant.
came, the Lions Den was full that evening. And the people came because you had, I think I read the other day that there were almost like 30 to 40 entrants.
Oh
But they
my.
shortlisted and came down to about, I forgot how much it was, 7 or 8 for the evening of the
Mhm.
competition. And they asked me to be a judge of the night of the competition. And about a week or two went by, and I said, "No, I don't want to be a judge. I want to enter this competition." I don't,
Exactly. That's my
so,
kind. That's my kind of girl.
so I told them, I want to enter, so please remove me from being a judge. And we got the criteria. The dress that you came up with had to be based on the immediate post emancipation period. Don't ask me why they chose that period, but that is what we were given. That's the time period you're supposed to be paid. So, of course, I started speaking to elderly people about what their parents used to wear. I spent days in the library, and lots of people did the same thing. So, the night of the show, I came up with 4 designs actually, 2 males and 2 females designs. Everybody else had maybe 1 male, 1 female. I was the only person who had 2 of each in the competition. And so, the show was very nice. The ladies, we kind of did kind of a little practice thing of how I want the dresses to be displayed. And then the male and the female would come out together and stuff like that. And then,
Oh,
lo and
nice.
behold, at the end of the evening, one of my male designs won and one of my female designs won. So that's how the national dress came about. And then I was
Nice.
asked, oh, when you win, you had to meet with the committee because they suggested certain adjustments that they wanted me to make to the dress. For instance, the sleeve that I had designed was a little short puff, but they told me that I should make it down to the elbow. It's called like a leg of mutton sleeve, something like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
It was supposed to be bigger and more down to the elbow. And then the other suggestion that they made, not suggestion, recommendation, the night of the show, I had chosen a synthetic madras fabric. It wasn't cotton, and it had like a gold streak running through it. And they thought that I should use the real madras. So I had to go to St. John's and find a madras which had in the colors which I specifically wanted, red, yellow,
Mhm.
green, because
Mhm.
that had
Mhm.
our connection to our Africanness. We're in the Caribbean, but we have African influence. And so
Mhm.
I chose that madras, and then the stores were told to bring in that fabric because that was going to be the national dress thereon. And
Oh,
then
wow.
it was taken to the cabinet of Antigua, who approved it as the national dress, I think, in 92. So that's how that whole process
Okay.
came about.
That is so, so
Interesting.
fantastic. Wow.
Mhm.
Heather, question
Nice.
for you. Just
Uh-huh.
listening to all of these accomplishments and your humble beginnings that you alluded to, what did you want to be when you were growing up? What were your aspirations?
just just the word artist. Every time my dad or my mom asked me, I said I wanted to be an artist. I didn't have a shape or form. All I wanted to do was art. And I can remember my dad saying, "What are you going to do with that? You know what?" I, as you said before, Doreen, I didn't have like a role model, anybody to look up to, anybody who was doing art, and well, except for Red Samuel, I was very close to him.
Yes. Yes.
Reg was kind of like a member of our family, and he used to come onto the various estates where we lived and set up his easel, and he would be painting. So that was the only artist that I knew personally. But I would tell my father that all I wanted to do was art, and then he would tell me. You spoke about in the questions you asked about challenges, and I would say that finances would have been one of the major challenges or hurdles that was almost preventing me from getting to where I wanted to go with this. So me getting some scholarships along the way, if it wasn't for those, I don't think I would be where I am today. If I didn't get, and it was two scholarships actually. The first one was from the British government, and the second one was from OAS.
Oh,
Because even
fantastic.
after I'd
We
gone
got
to Jamaica,
OAS
I still
scholarships.
wanted to do more. What's that?
I said, we got OAS scholarships. God
We
bless
surely
OAS.
did.
God bless OAS.
God
Very
bless
much
them
so.
too. It was a really good scholarship, really
Oh,
good.
it was.
So
It
Oh,
was.
nice.
It was.
that
No,
that
that's
I
Mm.
never
wonderful.
wanted to do anything else in my life but art. But it's only in my later years I started kind of shaping how what kind of art that I wanted to do, what did I want to do with it, kind of thing. But in the
Hmm.
beginning, once it had any something to do with art, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted
Wow.
to teach it. I wanted
Oh,
anything.
nice.
That is wonderful. So, Megan, let's
Nice.
shift to you. And in fact, let me not ignore our followers. We have quite a few people on.
Yes,
And
yes,
let me get some
yes.
comments. First of all, folks, I've been just so engrossed in this conversation with one of my favorite teachers. So sorry if we did
Bear
not
with us.
formally acknowledge. This doesn't happen every day. One of our former teachers. But thank you for joining us and share the live. Let your friends and family know that we're on the line. Of course, if you have not yet liked our YouTube channel, we encourage you to do so. You'll get the alerts and also like our page. Now, let's see. We have uh, Sheila Hutchinson, and she's saying, hello, ladies from the UK.
That's my sister. That's my
Oh, my
sister.
goodness. Hey, Sheila. Hey, Sheila. We have one of our usual followers, and you can guess who that is. Mistress Miriam Samuel, our mom. She was our guest last week.
Hi,
And she
Miriam. It's
said,
been so many years.
yep, she says, hi, Heather. And I think I remember this. I met
I
you
don't.
through my son Clement, who asked me to give you a ride home because it was raining. I was living on Factory Road. I think
She
you
I don't
told
thinks I
me
remember that
don't
at
that.
know
all.
who she is. Of course.
No, I'm saying no, no. She's saying that's how she met you. I think I
Oh,
remember.
that's how she met me.
So
Okay.
it's your Clement's art teacher at grammar school,
Yes. Yes.
and you
Oh,
needed a ride home. I think I remember this story, and this is before you came to high school. I think I remember this. So we're talking way back.
tons
I
of
wasn't even
years.
born
Tons
yet.
of
Yes.
years.
And then we have Sushanta saying hello, hello, hey, hey,
Hello, Sushi.
Sushanta. And then we have Lawrence Blackman saying, God bless OAS indeed. So I guess he got some of the OAS
Another
love.
Yes.
recipient.
Yeah.
Hi,
No,
Lawrence.
that's great. That's great. So
Hmm.
share the live. We have Fanny King saying a good afternoon, everyone. And you know what? I have to use this opportunity. In all the hype and the happiness, we have to pause for a moment of silence. I'm going to
Mhm.
make it 30 seconds. One of our most avid followers, she's here every week. She was here
Yeah.
last week.
She was.
She commented on the show. She commented after the show on Facebook. I was never more shocked to hear that she passed away this past Monday.
Wow.
Joanne Colborn. She was a pharmacist. I did not know her personally. I just
Uh-huh.
Megan said I met her. I don't remember her, but I know
Yes.
her from being an avid follower of our
Hmm.
page. And she came, she did not miss a show.
She
Always
didn't.
She
interactive.
lives in Antigua.
Yes.
Yes. Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm sure you know
So
her.
I made
So
voice to the face. I know who it is. Yeah.
so let us take pause for a moment of silence and just to listen. If you haven't spoken to somebody in a while, reach out. We just never know. She
So
was
true.
on this.
Wow.
She was in our audience last
Last
Thursday,
Thursday.
and
Wow.
by Monday she was gone. Okay, so we're going to take a moment of silence in
Mhm.
memory of Joanne, one of our biggest fans and supporters. May her soul rest in peace.
That's so rest in peace.
Okay, thank you so much. And to her family and friends and associates and the entire fraternity, I know there are lots of pharmacists who are also mourning her loss. We extend to them our deepest condolences. Okay, so Heather, question. Have you started on the book yet?
Volume one of the
It's
book
just
because it's
there.
lots of
It's
volumes.
circulating.
Yeah,
Everybody just keeps on reminding me about
the book has
that.
the book has to
And
get.
then they started telling me to start jotting down things
You
You
know what
should.
I
or
say?
start
Yeah,
taping
start
my
recording
memories.
yourself. Start recording
Yes,
you're driving
yes,
and you think of something, pull
yeah.
over and record it. Because I'm telling you, this book has to be written.
Thanks for
One,
that idea.
one of these days when I get rich, I will commission the book to be written because it is such a great story. I thought I knew Heather Doram, and talking to you here today, you have unearthed so many memories or ventured into paths that I wasn't even familiar with. I mean, the whole Megan, did you hear her talking about the acting part? I forgot about
Yes.
acting.
I knew about it, but just hearing her, I was like, wow. And even to hear how it started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
that
Really,
is
really nice.
so. Heather, this is a show of ideas.
Yes.
We believe in this is an incubator. This is our ninth episode, and I can't tell you,
Mm-hmm.
we've had a cross section of people, architects, radio
Mm-hmm.
show hosts. Our mom was on last week,
Yeah.
financial people. Refresh my memory, Megan. You know, I don't have a good memory.
Um,
Credit union.
we had an accountant, credit union, a lawyer, a lawyerpreneur.
Yeah, tech
So we,
people. I mean,
yeah, we've had
it's
some
Yeah.
all.
varied
Yes.
because I think this is what we're trying to create. Here's an incubator where people can come in and
Mm-hmm.
share ideas. We don't do that enough. And with
Mm-hmm.
COVID, it's made it worse because we can't socialize
Yes.
the way we used to. But I think technology is a blessing because it allows all of us to get together when we want, how we want, under
Definitely.
our terms. And so, one of the things we always ask our guests to do
Uh-huh.
is to share with us an idea. This is the Little Bite Ideas show. So,
Okay.
what is your, tell us an idea that you'd like to share.
Okay. Um, I want to start with where you started. That lately I have been pushing this idea, especially, I'm just all about women. Sorry, guys, I have nothing against you, but I'm all about women and empowering women. And one of the things that I have noticed lately, and which I am doing more and more, is we need as women to network more. We need to network
So
more.
true. So true.
And it has been happening. So I'm glad to hear you mention the word incubator. You have an incubator here. Because would you believe that I am like doing guava jelly in my house here? And I have a girlfriend and she's a graphic designer, or my daughter's a graphic designer. You get in touch with her, the two of you collaborate on this project. And I find that I've been involved in a lot of things like that lately. That it's like an incubator, and these things are just happening because we need to kind of open up ourselves. Because some of us have this thing about like holding things tight to our chest. And I'm not going to tell anybody. Sometimes they might say I
I
talk too
receive
much
it.
because
I
I like to
receive
talk
it.
about things. And talking about things with other people, sometimes you're in that incubator and that person tells you and gives you an idea. And that has been happening, like some kind of alignment has been going on
Yep.
recently in the universe,
Yep.
because I find it has been happening quite a lot recently. And I've been giving my services for to people to just even use my name, use my image, because I want to see young people thrive and survive. And
Nice.
that's so, here you talk about that is quite in alignment with the way that I've been thinking lately. Now, I've been doing art for many years. Even if my art doesn't sell, if I don't sell one piece, I would still be doing it, because it's not something like I choose to do. I just have to do it. I just express myself in that way. So if you never came and bought a piece of work for me, I would still be perfectly happy, because I have something inside of me that I need to express and I need to get out. And the only way I can get that out is to put it on canvas. So that's one way I get things out. So I've been doing that for years. And Dorit, you just mentioned about technology. Your nephew was on earlier. I wish I could come back in one of those younger bodies, because I think I could be doing more for myself, because how they are so familiar and how we can use the technology to really
Yeah,
do so much more and open up our
very.
life and open up our world. It's so amazing that they have an advantage over us old. Well, I'm talking about me, my old brain.
Not old, not
Anyway,
old.
Not at all.
so my daughter, the one I told you who is the graphic designer, so both she and her husband, they're very kind of creative, energetic, go-getter kind of people. And for years they've been saying, Mom, this art, your art needs to get out there to the world. More people need to see you. Poor me. I don't even understanding what do they mean by getting my art out there to the world. Yes, I can create a website or whatever. And then so one year, same daughter, she had breast cancer. So the idea she had to assist me to get out to the world had to be put on hold for a little while. But once she got well, she said, Mom, okay, I'm dedicating my time to you now. And this is what we're going to do. And she found this site. I think I shared it with you, Megan, Redbubble. And I guess there are many others in the world.
Mhm.
And this is getting Heather Durham's art out to the world. And guess what? In an inexpensive way as well. Because let's say I sell an original piece of work for like $500. You can get that same piece of work on a canvas for, let's say, 60 US.
Mm.
You just need to go to the site. And what we have done, we collaborate on this. Like, not every painting that I do, we use. We find the ones that would work well, maybe on a t-shirt, on leggings, on shower curtains, floor mats, any item that she feels like it would work well on. I get the artwork, got high-res images taken of the artwork and send them to her. And so, in us the other night, she shared with me that
Oh, wow.
someone in Sweden had just purchased two pieces of my artwork.
Oh, that is wonderful.
It will be stretched on canvas, looks just as fine, doesn't have to be the original. But using the technology, so many ways that we can get out to the world. You just need maybe a young nephew like yours. We need to get some of these young people with us,
I'm
and
telling you.
they can come into this incubator and tell us how we can do things more. Because a lot of us are in our little cubby hole, and we said, only when we have a little craft fair, I sell a few items or
Mhm.
so and so. But my idea or my thought that I want to leave is that we need to use the technology more. And if you're not familiar with what the technology can do for you, get in touch with one of your young nephews like Nicholas,
Tell
or
you.
hire somebody or do something. But the world is really our oyster now where technology is concerned. And so
Absolutely.
I feel very proud of myself when I see somebody in Australia just went online and purchased
But of
a
course.
t-shirt with my artwork on it, or they purchased a handbag. That is like one of the most gratifying things to
I can
me, really and
imagine.
truly.
Yep. And for years they would say that the world is a global village. And
Mhm.
Yes.
technology is definitely, they would say it. What did that even mean when it
Yes.
was
What
said?
does it mean?
What does that
Yes.
mean? They said that for
You're
years.
living it.
Just like they would
You're
say,
living it
the
now.
children of today are the men of tomorrow. When we're children, what does that mean? That's just foolishness that they start every speech with, every independence, telling you about the
Yeah,
future.
but what I want to explain about that, a lot of people seem to be a bit confused. Many of us go on all sorts of websites. Amazon, for instance, you go on Amazon. You
Mhm.
can't just click, 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 put it in the basket and then pay. You first have to set up your account. Amazon wants to make sure that your credit card information is there,
Oh,
the
yeah.
address to which it is to be shipped
Mhm.
to. So a lot of people seem to be experiencing some issues with shopping on my site,
And
and it
also,
is
Heather,
just that. Uh-huh.
also, don't forget, Amazon wants your information so they can upsell you and sell
Yeah,
you
that
again.
too. That too.
So
Yeah, but you
that is why
cannot
they
just
really
put
want your
things in the
information.
basket and then put in your credit card information.
Because if you
Please
buy
set up your
shoes today,
account first.
if you buy shoes
That's a
today,
fair
you're gonna
account.
need socks tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
So Amazon wants your information. This is what I study marketing. They
yes.
everything they do, trust me, there's a strategy behind it. So you
Yeah.
go looking for sneakers, and then all of a sudden you get these pop-up ads for the next 2
Yeah,
weeks.
of course. And you're wondering,
Right?
woo, who knew I was
Yeah.
looking for something?
I am even convinced they can hear you because sometimes you have
I think
conversations.
so too. I think so. Because
That's right. But you know what it is? But you know what it is? It's not audio. What it is, you're talking about it, it's on your mind. Chances are you have left a digital footprint somewhere.
yeah,
Somewhere.
You've
yes,
used
yes,
something, you've unconsciously
yeah.
reached,
And
left a
that
digital.
is my idea for anybody who's starting out like a small business or wants to get their products out there. You just need to do a little research and find out. Redbubble is not the only site. There are lots of other sites. I saw a lot of them popping up as well recently, where you can get whatever you produce. You can get it printed on bags, t-shirts, clothing, tights. Let me show you. This is an example. That's my artwork on my cell phone.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Oh, wow.
That is so
Oh, that's
beautiful.
nice.
So Heather,
Yes.
do you have a website?
Not yet. I'm going to create a website. I have somebody who's going to work on that for me.
Okay.
But
Nice.
all these are
Nice.
available on Redbubble. So
On
you
Redbubble.
have for
Okay.
iPhone, Android, whatever you want for your
That's
iPad,
beautiful.
floor cushions. You
Mhm.
can get your bedspreads, floor mats, shower
Oh,
curtains.
wow.
So
Yeah.
talking about that, Heather, that's
That's
a
really
good segue.
nice.
That's a good segue into another segment that we need to be talking about. So we know exactly where we need to be putting you in our business. We are getting ready to launch, and we're actually going to announce it next week.
Uh-huh.
We work with a lot of small businesses. I have a passion for small businesses.
Mhm.
I like the creative side of business. I'm like you. I really don't need to see something grow to be $1 million. What I get a high from is talking to somebody,
Mhm.
getting the ideas, and building a program or a marketing program or a
Mhm.
business. I really have a passion for small businesses, and has been that has grown so much since COVID because all of the forecasts indicate that in the future it's going to be small businesses. All
Yeah.
the
All
big
this
businesses are
gonna be
gone, and we're looking at
Yes.
it differently. The Walmarts and the Kmarts, and who needs to go to that? First of all, nobody wants to be physically in these stores anymore. It's all about online
Yes.
shopping, and so there's no
uh-huh.
need to have all of these. You can have one warehouse like Amazon doing the
Yes.
fulfillment.
Yes.
So the idea that we a lot of our business and is rooted in small and micro businesses and
Mhm.
entrepreneurs. And so we're going to launch on Monday a program where we are going to identify 20 artisans, small businesses. We want to feature 20 small businesses for Christmas. So this show
Mhm.
is called Little Bite Ideas. That
Mhm.
program will be Little Gift Ideas.
Uh-huh.
So we are
Okay.
going to feature 20, and so you're already a shoe in. You're the
She,
overseer of the program. But we want to feature people like you with businesses like that to
Yes.
showcase, to show people looking for different gift ideas for Christmas.
yes,
Well, I'm
yes, yes,
seeing
for
things
Christmas.
already popping up because I'm seeing on Facebook a few things popping up already
Oh
about
yeah, of
Christmas shopping. Yeah, I'm seeing quite a few popping up
course.
already.
Mhm.
But I'm saying
It's around
people,
the corner.
it's interesting. It's
Mhm.
interesting. People in far flung lands have access to you. And there are people in Antigua and Barbuda who may be shocked to know
Yes.
the breadth
Yes.
of services that they can
Yeah.
get from you, just like anybody can go to Redbubble.
Right here.
So, I mean, people from here can go and order them too. So
Yes.
we want
Mm-hmm.
to, I think small businesses need a leg up. And so we're talking to a bunch of sponsors because you want to be able to give somebody a prize.
Yeah.
So we're going
Okay.
to feature 20 businesses and position them as gift ideas that people can purchase for Christmas and beyond.
For
Mm-hmm.
Christmas.
And
Mm-hmm.
showcase them
Mm-hmm.
on our website.
Yeah.
We the reason I asked you if you have a website, we don't want to handle the e-commerce. We're just doing the referrals and the promotions. We want people to
Yeah.
get their own money. We're not
What I
interested in
do,
the transactions.
I've been promoting a lot on my Instagram page. I've been
Mm.
saying, oh, why not get these things for Christmas? Like I showed bedspreads and shower curtains and stuff like that. So my Instagram page is Heather Durham at one word, Heather
Fantastic.
Durham.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. No, this is
Great.
great. So we will definitely be following up with you. But
Yeah,
Megan,
okay.
let's get you. We
Excellent.
always like you are the business guru, the CPA, the financial person. Tell us how this all ties in. What is your
Mm.
recommendation, your response to all of the lovely things we've talked about today?
Wow. So, Heather, you're off the chain, okay? You're off the chain. I gotta tell you that. But you've always been like that. You've always been like that. Um, what I would say, I'm just so excited about what Heather is saying. You have such a wonderful, wonderful product. And I was really heartened to hear that you said you got so excited when somebody from Australia downloaded your
Yeah.
image. So, from a finance point of view, I just want
Mhm.
to ensure that you make sure that in everything you do, you're keeping your records in order. You are making sure that you're properly pricing your stuff. And I'm
Mhm.
saying this to you, but to all the other small businesses out there, it's just really important that
Yeah.
you make sure. So I heard you. You said that all you've wanted to do is to do art, and that's really commendable. But there's a business part of what you're doing, and
Mhm.
so in as much as you're doing your love, your passion, which is really the best thing ever to do, make sure that you're making the right steps, putting what's in place for from a financial point of view. So this really can be a profitable venture.
Mhm.
I'm sure it can. It sounds really, really exciting. So I would just say to all the small businesses, take the time, get the financial knowledge. If you have to get a bookkeeper or an accountant, do it. Even or get a book. Sometimes it's just reading a book and getting some basic information on what you
Mhm.
need to do. It's a small business, so you may have to register your business. There might be some tax implications. You don't want to get in trouble down the road. So try to get all of these sorted early. But I'm so
I know
excited.
a lot of persons would often approach me, especially persons who are in like artists and stuff like that, and ask me questions about how do they go about pricing their work. I know that's a question that comes up
Mm-hmm.
very often, and this might be the downfall of somebody, trying to start something and not pricing, everything that is involved in producing that, whether the electricity, the water, the
Yes.
labor, your
Yes.
creativity, all those things,
All
the
those
And
things.
that's
materials.
something that plagues small businesses, period. Whether it's art, whether it's
Mhm.
whatever it is, that's something that plagues small businesses because it's a one man show or a small group show. And
Yeah,
so you have to be that creative person, you have to do the marketing, everything else.
yeah.
And then how do you spread yourself across all these functions and do well at
Oh,
it?
that
You usually
that is
need
a tough one.
you need help. The good thing is, a smart businesses today, and there are a lot of small businesses that are run very smartly. They rely on a lot of resources. I do a lot of consulting, so I can tell you if you need any kind of work done in certain areas, I can point you to a bunch of consultants or
Mm-hmm.
providers who can get it done. You don't need to hire. You hire what you need. It's like Uber. You need somebody to create a flyer. You
Hmm.
don't need somebody to create spreadsheets. So you get that one
Yeah.
service and you buy it. And there are lots of places you can go and get support services
Mhm.
that you need. So you really have to think, you have to be very task specific about what your business needs and go out
Yeah,
and find, not because you can't do it yourself. Trust me.
Mhm.
And that's
it
how
can be
I
done.
approach business. I don't
It
need to
can
know
be
if
done.
it exists. In my head, Megan will tell you all the time. I said, I know it exists. I've never heard of it, but there has to be. I can't be the first person who's ever thought about this. Somebody before me had a similar thought. I bet you can find somebody out there who does ABC. And invariably, it
Mhm.
may not be precisely what
Yes.
it exists. It exists. So
Mhm.
we're blessed to be born at a time where, like you, Heather, I wish I was a little younger because I would be a force to reckon with this whole internet thing and technology because it just, I mean, just think of the
Listen, you're as young
opportunities.
as you feel. Go
But think
for
of
it.
the opportunities. Heather, you're a little, you're a little ahead of us, but I consider us, similar generation. We're, growing up in Antigua in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, there were just not, educational opportunities were not this abundant.
Nope.
Technology and,
There was no, not at
our
all.
whole world
The
orientation was
world was very
very
Yes, yeah.
small,
But
very,
it's a
very
different
small.
world now. Different world.
completely
Yeah.
different. That's why
It
I'm
doesn't matter
thinking
where
that,
you are.
the
Geography is not,
younger generation, they have it
yeah.
all here.
Yep. Geography does not matter. It does not matter where
Yeah,
you
doesn't
are.
matter. Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this
You
has
know,
been a
there's something I
wonderful,
want before you go on. There's
yes.
a comment that I think is really important that I want to highlight. It's
And we
Lawrence
do have a
Ragland.
lot of questions. So we do have a lot of comments. So I want to get to some of them as well. Continue,
Yeah.
Megan.
Okay. Well, that's the one I wanted to jump to in case
Oh,
we
with
run
the,
out of time
no,
because it's
go right
speaking
ahead with
of,
the copywriting.
yes, I think
Yes,
that's really important,
that's
Heather.
very
So I
important.
think
But
that
Yes,
Julie,
yes, yes,
but Julie
yes.
Osborne, I see you. I see you, Julie. I'm coming to you. Don't go anywhere. Go.
Yes, Lawrence, totally agree with you.
yeah, that's an important thing that you have to make sure you get sorted with your work
Yeah,
because don't want to lose out on any benefits you can get.
yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted
Especially
to
when your
make sure
work,
that we highlight that.
right? Especially when your work has the ability to go global so easily.
Yes,
Absolutely.
You can monitor what happens
Absolutely.
in Antigua, maybe
In
even
Antigua, but
in,
once you go international,
yeah,
yeah.
you have to really have those protections, and you should never
yeah.
underestimate your business. It can
Mhm.
go viral very quickly. So I always say,
Absolutely.
live. I live for tomorrow. Today's already here. If you're planning for today, it's
Mm,
already too late. You have to
Too late.
live.
Too late.
You have to
Mhm.
plan for tomorrow.
Yes.
yes.
Yep. So let's see what Julie has to say. Julie, welcome. She was making a comment. Yep, that's Amazon. Heather, get that website going. Heather, Julie says, get your website going.
Get your
Yes,
website
gonna be worked
going.
on. Yes.
Yep.
Ah, very, very
So
nice.
this
I
has
actually,
been
by the way, I actually talking about getting. I actually hired somebody to deal with all my social media.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
So that person is going to create the website. We're taking it in
Oh,
stages.
all right.
Yes.
So you're on the road. That's good.
Yeah.
and
That's
I
good.
and you are such a creative person, Heather. I'm sure you're going to be telling the social media person what to do.
Well, the person already said that there's so much information already out there, and it's not going to be difficult for them to create the
Exactly.
website.
Oh,
Because she
Exactly.
nice.
said you just have to search my name, and all these things pop up. So,
I'm telling
well,
you. I'm telling you. This has been
Nice.
wonderful. So, Megan, any further? I know you missed a couple. You missed a few minutes of the show. Is there anything you wanted to say before we wrap up?
I wondered whether you guys spoke about the carnival costumes.
Uh,
no, we didn't really go
Heather,
there.
Heather says she is not into carnival costumes anymore.
I
Unbelievable.
know. Okay, maybe not anymore, but I just have to say you used to blow my mind
I'm
back in the
telling
day.
you. Oh my
Fancy
goodness.
costumes. They were
I mean,
awesome.
Queen Show Night, Heather Durham, Connie
Yeah.
Durham,
Heather and
Heather
Connie
Durham,
Durham. Heather and Connie Durham.
Heather and
Yep.
Connie
Yeah,
Durham.
made a
Those were
good
the
combination.
days.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
were the days. You see,
Those,
just like all these chapters, and each chapter was, a different sort of excitement in my life at a particular time. But I am the kind of person like that period was
it's
over.
okay.
I went through a little grieving period. Then after that,
Oh,
I am on to the
ready
next
for something
project.
else. I like
So
that.
I enjoy everything about it when it was happening. It was extremely gratifying, I have the photographs of all the costumes up on the
Oh,
walls here,
nice.
For
and
the
you
book.
know, it,
For the book. Save them for the book.
Yep,
the book. Oh,
absolutely.
you read. I'm going to make a note of that
Yes.
because guess what? I was just about to donate them to
No, no,
the
no,
museum
no.
or something like that.
You can, but
Make sure you have some
make
digital
sure you have some,
pictures.
make sure you
That
have
is what I have to do first. That's what I
Mhm,
have to do
so
mhm.
Heather, why don't you open a museum?
because that's going to take me away from producing my art.
Okay,
And
go
that's what
ahead.
she lives for.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good
I get that.
question.
I get
So
that.
so so your prayer request is you need to find somebody who can. I've always said Antigua needs a carnival museum
Oh, don't get me started on that, Doreen.
because I love the going to Vegas. I'm sorry, going to Atlantic City. I have been a couple of times. I didn't even know one time I was there for business, and there
Yeah.
is a Miss America Hall of Fame, right?
Let me tell you something. The
And
days when we were just clamoring to have something like that, there was actually spaces that were identified for that. And
Oh,
I could see
wow.
it being developed on and being really great
oh,
tourism product.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And
Have you been
just,
to the
I don't
Junkanoo?
know, there's something about us not seeing things in a creative, like the
Yes,
arts and the
yes,
creative
Yes, yes.
industries don't seem to be given very much thought that they could be major contributors, not only to the tourism product, but to the whole
the
G,
employment period. Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, if you've been to the Bahamas and seen their Junkanoo center, right? I mean, they hype it up a lot. The Bahamas has a lot of money, so the structure itself and the
But that's how it goes. Everybody hypes up their own.
exactly. But you
Mhm.
hear about. I'm always into new ideas. So one time I was in the Bahamas for a
Yeah.
conference, and I found my way. I want to see what this Junkanoo. I heard about it. I want to see
Uh-huh.
what the Junkanoo place looks like, and it's a big warehouse where
Yes, that's what we need. That's all we need. A big
yes,
warehouse. Then one corner would have a spot where you take photos in the costumes and stuff like
exactly,
that. So
exactly,
I don't know.
and they
I
have a
think
little
my
yeah,
days of lobbying for things like that has passed. I'm
yeah,
exhausted, so I just want to
yeah.
concentrate on my art.
And it's a DIY kind of experience where people hear about carnival and they want to build a costume. So they have like some big bins, so you can go and pull out the feathers. You can go pull whatever you want,
Yes,
and you
And
pay
create.
for them. And somebody
Yeah.
teaches you how to do it.
And
And by
there's
the
your
time you're
creativity coming
done,
out.
you have your costume, and you go and you take your pictures, right?
yes,
And I
exactly.
mean, some of the costumes, I mean, is a little hitch upness, but it's the love, and the people are just they can't because you've seen this stuff on television all
But
your
this is
life.
what tourism is about. Tourism
Yes,
these days is
it's the
about people getting
exploration.
involved in the experience. It's the whole
The
Exactly.
experience they want to have.
experience. The
Exactly.
experience. Absolutely.
Exactly.
It has to be
Yep.
a little bit more than sun, sea, and sand.
I am
I think
telling you.
that would be
Exactly.
such
I
a
am.
great
We
spot.
have a comment from Louise Henry Meegan. You want to take that one?
Right? So
Hey,
Louise
Louise
is
Henry.
saying, great program as usual. I have gained a number of valuable nuggets. This type of conversation is always so inspirational. Thank you so much, Louise. It's so true. And that's why she is our inspirational role model.
That's why she is. That's why she is. Heather, we are gonna have to have you back. But
Yeah.
We're going to have to
trust
have
me,
you back.
when we say we're gonna be picking your brain, because when we say we do it, we definitely want to get you involved in our 20 Liquor Bites ideas
Mhm.
program we're doing for the holidays, whether as a spokesperson, a judge. I hadn't even thought about you being a part of that until we started talking today.
Yeah.
She
So,
also will be displaying
but
her stuff.
and of course, of
Yes,
course, of
yes,
course.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I said, she's the overseer. She told you you missed that. She grew up on plantations, so she's the overseer.
I heard the end part.
That is so
And
funny.
there's another comment just to seal the book story.
Mhm.
Lawrence is saying coffee table book sell off.
I'm telling you,
Ah!
sell off before she's even printing. Like when
Lawrence,
Martha
don't
Stewart,
worry. I'm going to work on it.
like when Martha Stewart is doing her newest book, it sell off before she even bring it.
Before
And people
Wow.
pre-order.
I'll
No,
be there.
seriously, Heather, we're not even kidding you.
Yeah,
And
Yes.
absolutely.
the thing is with books nowadays, it's more pictures than actually that.
Yes. Yeah, people like
And,
pictures.
and you have
Yes.
so
And
many.
this one would have a lot of pictures.
A lot of pictures, a lot of
And
art.
that's what I'm saying. So it's not like you have to sit down and come up with a whole story. You're a walking story. It depends on which chapter.
Absolutely.
Tell them which chapter. What chapter would you like to start at? Okay,
Ah,
you're a walking, and then of course, after a
it'll
book
be
comes,
thick like this.
yeah,
Yes.
and Heather, you ready for this one? After the book comes the movie, the story of Heather Doram,
Yes.
because I truly
Who's gonna
believe
play? Who's gonna play me?
Heather Doram.
there are a lot of young
The
people
young, the
coming
young
up.
Heather Doram, your
Yeah,
daughter or your granddaughter?
yeah. I'm sure there's a granddaughter in the making, or a niece or
There
somebody.
is a granddaughter, my little darling.
She's quite a character.
Oh
She
wow.
is. She is.
Well, she has some vivid imagery to live up to. So
She
let,
is
let her
spunky,
blossom.
spunky
Let her
girl.
blossom. But no, Heather,
From the time she was little.
in all seriousness, my little idea is start working on that book. Most
Thank you,
people
and thank you for that. That's what I'm going to take away from this
yes,
program.
Absolutely.
start
Okay. I
somewhere.
kind of I had it, and then I went astray. So okay, that's what I'm
This
going
is
to
your
take away.
Start
reminder.
somewhere. Start somewhere. There's somebody out there in Antigua or around the world who will give you the assistance that you need.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right? I mean, I can see you being added to be one of our national heroes. The problem is they do it when people get,
Too old.
older,
Yeah,
and
don't get it.
it and the
no,
story
when you
is
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're gone, you hear all the wonderful things you were.
By the way,
Yeah.
Megan, did you see? Sorry, on the side, did you see Mrs. Lewis got an
Of
award?
course, of
Yes,
Yeah, but
yes.
I'm
course.
so sorry that she wasn't able to, go. Oh, I was so sad
She's
about
well.
that.
She's not well. She's not keeping well.
No, she like dementia or
Oh
something like
wow.
that.
Oh
Yeah,
Mhm.
her
wow.
son took it on her behalf. Yeah,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's
that's
wonderful.
a pity. Yeah, I wanted to see her
That's what we're
walking.
talking about. We
Yeah.
wait too late
Yeah, we wait
to
till too
honor,
late. We wait until too late. And I'm
Yeah.
so glad we had the opportunity to talk to you today, Heather. We'll be talking
Oh,
more.
love it.
I think there's so much we can
Love it.
collaborate on.
Yeah.
I love when people have passion, but I'm
Oh,
all about
And
the marketing and the business. I want to see passion turn to profit.
transfer. Yeah.
that's Heather
You know what I'm
Doram.
saying? So, and then too, all of the other guests that we have, I find it so interesting. Not only have they turned passion into profits, but like you is a
Mhm.
dilly dally life. It's like so many different layers and levels to all of them. So I
Yes.
am just so
Yes.
I am just so happy. Um, Julie is saying not being visionary enough. We need to do a carnival museum.
We
I
do.
totally
We
agree.
do.
If I won the
Definitely
lotto
do.
tomorrow, another thing I keep saying to Heather,
Uh-huh.
why is our carnival? Why does our carnival happen? Of course, that's just the way it is. But think about
Yeah.
it. We Carnival is our most cultural event, but it
Biggest
is
culture.
staged in the off season. So you could come to Antigua for the whole of the high season and not see a wink of carnival.
Yeah.
Why is that?
And that's where the museum will be
And
important,
there you go.
because
Important.
if you
There
didn't
you
get to
go.
come on holiday during that
And
period, you
there you
still
go.
get to experience the music,
Uh-huh.
the costumes.
Exactly.
Maybe you could even get food at the museum.
Exactly. A whole
You
junk,
know what, my fried chicken from side the road, make.
a whole bacchanal wherever you go, you create a whole bacchanal around it.
Let's hope the powers that they're listening, because these are great ideas.
Yeah,
These
and
are
so
great
I have
ideas.
said for years that we need another festival. When
Yeah.
people think of
Yes.
carnival, they think about Mardi Gras. I'm not saying we have to compete with Mardi Gras, but
Mhm.
to the extent that we are a carnival is so iconic to us.
Yes.
Why don't we have something that, whether it's the museum, I would say beyond the museum, it should be an event in the
Something
high
artsy,
season.
something jazzy,
Yes,
something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Bahamas, their carnival is typically at Christmas, high season.
Oh.
They added one for the off season, so they're two junkanoo.
Oh.
Why do you have to
Okay.
have
I did
one?
not know that.
Yeah, why?
Yes. Yes. I see what you're saying.
So
Yes.
it's two different types of visitors who travel that time.
Because somebody had started some time ago trying to bring back to New Year's Day, which I
Yes, I
thought was
remember that.
brilliant,
Yes,
I
yes,
which
remember
is the
that.
yes,
middle of the high season.
yes.
Yes.
That would be amazing because we
That
don't do
should have been
anything.
maintained. Yes.
We
We used
don't
to
do
do that
anything.
years ago with the John Bullen cell.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And the good thing is, going back to technology, virtual tours are off the chain. if we had a carnival museum, you could start visiting it before you get here. Give people a
Yes.
reason to want to come.
That is
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
That is
So we're
true.
not really utilizing the technology to
Yeah,
our advantage,
we're
you
not,
know?
we're not, we're not.
Yeah.
And we just have to keep hope alive. But I'm saying
Yes.
Antigua has too much culture. Antigua has too much to offer that we're not harnessing for us to even be. COVID, of course, has had its impact. But if we can just do a mindset reset
Yes.
and look at our
That has
tourism
to happen as well, you know. That has to happen
exactly
as well.
and realize how much
Yes.
power we have. I mean, my mother was on last week. She makes more than 40 products.
I
Yeah,
couldn't believe that when you said that mom was doing all
when,
these
40
things.
when she
That's
laid it
products.
on, it
amazing.
was
When she
like,
laid it
wow.
on, I was tired just looking at it. I know she talks about
Yeah.
all this stuff,
Yep.
right? But
Yes.
again, she has
Just
no
seeing
clue
it
how to
all.
market it. She has no clue how to market it. And
Okay,
that's
that's
where
what I'm
we come
talking
That's
in.
where
about.
you come in.
Yes.
That's where we come
Yes.
in. So
Mhm.
it really is a new age. And we are so delighted. We had such a great response today online. We want to thank everyone who joined us today for
Yes.
stopping by.
Well,
We know
one
you.
of your, well, I don't know if, sorry, I don't know if Carolyn was one of your students. Maybe not, but no,
Who's
maybe not.
Oh,
Carolyn?
But Carolyn McCoy, but she's a high school girl.
Oh,
oh yes. Oh, well,
Inspirational.
I don't know if I taught her. I can't remember if I taught her.
Carolyn is on the line. I didn't see her. She
Thank
is.
you,
Yes,
Caroline.
it's very
Okay.
inspirational.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Fantastic. Fantastic.
great.
Well, folks, we try not to make this not much longer than an hour, but this was a special, special
Oh,
edition.
very special. Very
And
special.
I think we're honored to have such great role models and to be able to celebrate them when they're still vibrant. We're
Thank you
not
so much.
Absolutely.
we're not going to we're
Absolutely.
not going to a nursing home to say let's go look up Heather. And the person who
Exactly.
shows up doesn't look anything like Heather. Let us show the love and appreciation while they're still vibrant and they can appreciate it. And the slide, if you can put back up the slide that we had earlier, it said, sometimes we're a role model to people that we don't even know.
Yes. Oh, yes. I was going to mention that. I really like that.
Yeah,
I
be
like that.
strong. You never know who you are
Yes.
inspiring. So
Yep.
Heather has been just fabulous. But to all of us today, we have the ability to inspire someone else. And I always say when I
Yeah.
do something for someone and they say, thank you so much. How can I thank you? How you can thank me
Yes.
is to pass it on
Pass
and
it
make
on.
Yes.
sure
Pay it
that you
forward.
pay it forward and make sure that you have a similar impact on somebody else.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's been a
Absolutely.
great show. Let's go
Totally.
on to the
Wonderful.
announcements. Next week, we have another great guest that I've known for years, Richie Richardson, Sir Richie Richardson. I want to hear from him. A little
Ah.
boy from Five Islands. Did you ever, when you growing up, how many sirs did you know? Aside from the cricket. How
Zero.
many cricketers did you know? So that's going to be another great show. So we invite everyone to come back next Thursday at 5, same time, when we have another great conversation. And then at the end of the month, we have Barry Scorpion Edwards, someone that I don't know very well. He's somebody that I've admired from a distance.
Mhm.
And also a dilly dally lifestyle involved in a whole lot of things. And Beach Limers is one of my favorite places, and what he has done with that whole place and the concept,
Awesome.
and taking it from nothing to winning all these awards and just being one of the, when Russell's went out of business, we thought that was it.
Mhm.
What are we going to do? But he has come with a different concept, and it's also a winning concept.
Get easy.
Well, I want to thank everyone. Thanks for
Thank you
inviting
so
me,
much, Heather.
Megan.
We really appreciate it. It
It was
just
my
made my day.
pleasure.
Made my day. Made my day.
Yeah, for
Please say hello
sure.
to Connie for me.
I will. It
All
was my
righty.
pleasure being here. Thank you so much for
And
allowing me
continue.
to share as well. And thanks for inviting me. And my love to all the persons who were, commenting and who tuned in. Yes, I'm still here, still plodding on.
And doing
Okay,
well.
so we're
Doing
over
well.
and out. We'll see you next week.
Take
Have a
care.
nice evening,
All right.
everyone. Take
Bye,
care.
everyone.
Love you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Are we off?
No, you're not.